Today in the Woods on the Why I Teach series, I want to highlight a teacher who literally helped me talk.
Most of them will tell me that they always enjoyed coming to my class. That's something that I always hear from them. If they were not in my class, but they saw me, you look the same as you did when I was in school. And I'll tell them, that, well, I've put on lots of more years, but I'm glad, but they always recognize me. I can't always know who they are. So I always tell them that, well, when you were in school, you were little. And now you've grown up and changed. Many of them, I can still recognize something about them, but everyone who was in school when I was teaching, they all recognize me.
It's a day in the woods. In first and second grade, Miss Gloria Crank was my speech teacher. And I absolutely love Miss Gloria Crank. Loved going to her classes for speech therapy in first and second grade. She was just and is such a wonderful human being that just pours so much goodness into the world and makes such a positive difference in the lives of others.
My interest in education actually started when I was a child. I used to play school with my siblings every day in the backyard. And then when I went to first grade, my first day in first grade, I knew I had to be a teacher. I had a wonderful teacher, very loving teacher. I went to school that first day and left my lunch money. And instead of calling my mother to bring me some, she gave me the money to eat lunch that day. And when I went home that day, I knew that that was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was so passionate about my job and about the students until I felt like I was bringing a lot of their problems home with me. And I wanted to change their lives for the better. I wanted to be able to, many of them were underprivileged, to be able to take them and take them places, show them things, and help them learn more about the world around them. I was at that time working on my master's in speech pathology. And for 44 years, that's what I did. 2 years in special education, and then 44 years in speech pathology. And then also in the evenings, I taught adult education. And as I was growing up, there were people in the community who took an interest in us. I was in Girl Scouting. I was in a girls' club. I was involved in my church. And so there were lots of adults who put their time in with me and my family. And so I think that's what prompted me to be able to want to give back. And when I graduated from high school, because I went to an all Black school all 12 years. I went to Finley. I went to York Road Elementary. And then when I graduated from there, went to to Finley Junior High, and then on to Finley Senior High. Graduated from there. And I knew that the world around me was changing, and I wanted to be ready for that world. When I went to Winthrop, I was probably maybe about the third or fourth class after they integrated, which means there were very few of us there. And so I've always been a proponent of public education. Um, those who are able to send their children to private schools, it's wonderful. But then when you really think about it, I think public education is actually better because it will get you ready for the world that we live in. I think some of the problems with parents who maybe don't have the education that they need and they're not able to help their children. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we have. We need more parent involvement. Um, we need more programs to be able to help the children keep up with academic skills that they need because many of them are not getting it at home. Well, I think being able to invest in public education will definitely help those people who otherwise wouldn't be able to receive a lot of the things that they will need in life. I always used games. I use games a lot of times to help the children be interested in wanting to learn and to change their behavior because they were so interested in playing the game sometimes until they didn't realize that they were actually learning. Um, at some point, and a lot of times, just in talking with a student, I can pretty much diagnose maybe what kinds of problems there are, even before I do any actual testing. Being able to make a difference in their lives, to see the improvement that they were making in the schools, in the classes. That's a positive thing. And now when I see students in the community, and know that they recognize you, they acknowledge who you are, will thank you for what you did to help them. Those kinds of things just means the world to me.
One of my favorite stories that's also appropriate for being out on today in the woods is it was a beautiful day in May or early spring. And we went to her class. She said, you know what? It is just too pretty to be inside today. Too nice of a day. So she took us outside to the playground. We got to run around, enjoy the greatness of being the outdoors, and still did our speech therapy lessons. And I think I learned more that day than any other day, and just about life in general. And I still take that same lesson of taking my students today outside on beautiful days because just the world has so much to teach us. Uh, you can learn so much from a sunrise. You can learn so much from a beautiful spring day that it's just great to be outdoors on days like that. So Miss Gloria Crank's from my all-time favorite individuals. It's a day in the woods.